Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa. Now 2 weeks ago, Rachel from the Faded Wildflower Crochet created a new tag called the Crochet Creator Tag. Now at the time she put out 10 questions that she answered herself and then tagged a few of her friends. And our yarny friend Nova from Nova Gnome Creations has tagged me. So thank you so much, Nova, for doing that. I was absolutely hoping that you would. I had all my fingers and toes crossed, and I was so happy that you called out my name, because I love watching these tags, just getting to know each other a little bit more. Now, as it is a crochet creator tag, there are a couple of questions specific to creators, but as always, you're invited to pop in some of your own answers in the comments below. We all love learning about each other, and as we always say, sharing is definitely caring. There's only 10 questions with a bonus question for creators, and I'm just going to rattle off the answers as quickly as I can. I do have a cup of coffee here, so if you'd like to grab something to drink yourself, please do join me. Cheers if you do so. I always like doing this, so cheers, guys. Here's to us. I'm going to have a little sip right now. Because I do have a little bit of a frog in my throat, so excuse me in advance if I do cough. Let me get it out of the way now. So I've got a few props, as always, that I like to include in these things. So let's just get started straight away, right, guys? Now, the very first question is, how did you learn to crochet? Now, I learned during COVID, and the best way to learn then was via YouTube. I had dabbled in it a long time ago in my early 20s with an aunt, but I have no real recollection of that. So my real crochet journey started about 4.5 years ago. During that time, I needed something to do. I was going a little bit stir crazy, and I always wanted to make a granny square blanket, or at least granny squares. So I hopped onto YouTube, and Bella Coco came on, and I remember she was my teacher for a very long time, and I know a lot of you have learnt using Bella Coco's tutorials. And what was great for me was that it was a visual. First of all, I am a visual learner, and I absolutely loved how soothing her voice was to me. It's so funny to look back now, though, because I had no idea about UK, excuse me, or US terminology. All I did was follow what she was doing. I was listening, or should I say I was hearing, but I wasn't listening to what she was actually saying. I was so involved in learning how to crochet, because that was my dream, to be able to crochet a blanket, which I have done, and it is one of the most loved blankets that my family uses to this very day. So under this blanket here, which is one of my current blankets, which again is granny squares, is this blanket here, and it is so loved. It actually fits on top of our queen size bed, but most of the time it's used on the lounge. People, family, friends, they all snuggle under it, and it is wash and wear. And at that time I had no idea what I was doing, but I did learn. I persevered. For 3 months I would crochet non-stop every moment that I had free, and I did learn off YouTube, guys. So what a great resource we have here for our yarny community. And to this very day, I still use YouTube as my go-to when I want to learn something to crochet. So that was question number 1. Now, question number 2 says, what's your favorite thing to crochet? Now, I have a couple of favorite things, and it's hard to narrow it down, but I absolutely have. I have to say blankets, all styles of blankets. The granny square is still one of my favorite ways to crochet a blanket, whether I piece it together or make one big one. But I love experimenting with different yarns for different styles and types of blankets, including star blankets, wave blankets, like what else can we make? Just anything. V-stitch, I love the V-stitch, all the different sampler blankets. So I love making blankets because they're a wonderful gift as well. Baby blankets seem to be my favorite of late for the size. But I also love to make beanies, guys. And those of you that have been around long enough, we have Beanie of the Week this year as well. So I've just got a couple of my beanies to show you here. This is one here that I absolutely love. And I love making all the different styles and all the different types of yarn. I'm in love with the thicker style yarns. I love the different stitches that we can learn from such a small project. So beanies are definitely one of my favorite things to make, and I guess I should round it up to 3 because 3 is my favorite number. I love making dolls' clothes, and there's my doll's wardrobe there, Dana's wardrobe, full of dolls' clothes from our Cal this year, best dressed 18-inch doll Cal, which I absolutely love because it was a way of inviting all of us to do it together because I wanted to make doll clothes. So they're my favorite things to crochet. It was just too hard to give you just one thing. Now, question number 3 asks, now let me get it because these pages are stuck together. Now, question number 3, this one was one I had to think about, but not for too long. If you could only use one yarn for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, guys, that's a tricky one, right? Because most of us have at least one favorite yarn, but would we consider using it for the rest of our lives? Well, after sitting down for a few moments, I actually came to the conclusion that it would definitely be my Spot Saver 10-ply yarn, which is a worsted weight or number 4 weight, and I think it might be an Aran in the UK, I'm not sure. But what I love about this yarn, it is 100% acrylic, which is the main thing. It comes in like variegated or stripy colors, and of course it comes in the plain colors. And the beauty of this yarn is, being the thickness that it is, you can either use it on its own, which I've created so many patterns with it, including a lot of blankets and beanies. You can double it or triple it. So double it, you make a bulky weight yarn. Triple strand it, you can actually make things like baskets or bigger projects, things for the house like mats and things like that, for like rugs for the floor, which I absolutely love. And you can also make amigurumi with it. I've made quite a few amigurumi pieces using my Spot Saver 10-ply yarn. So for me, that would be the most versatile one. I love using my chocolate 6mm Clover and More hook, and it marries up perfectly with that yarn for me as well. So for me, it would definitely have to be my acrylic 10-ply yarn. Again, acrylic is also a big thing for me because with donations, when we have a donation drive, it's non-allergenic, and for gifting the same thing. And also it's very, very durable and wash and wear. So they're all of my reasons why I would use my I would choose that to be the only yarn that I would use if I had to. But in saying that, it's nice to know that that yarn is also available in a wider range of colors, like for example in the Red Hearts and the Premier yarns, which one day I might be able to access here in Australia. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Not an astronomical price. So question number 4 asks us, what is the weirdest thing you've ever made? Now, I don't consider anything that I've made weird. I don't think I'm that adventurous or crazy, but I really don't think I've made anything weird. So when I had to put my mind to this, I thought of the reaction to some of my makes by my family and friends. And this is the weirdest thing, guys, that came to mind. I love my Dammit doll. I think she is absolutely gorgeous. Here she is here on her stand, but a lot of my family and friends are a little bit taken aback when they see her. I don't understand why. I think she is adorable. So I would say only because of the reaction of my family and friends that she would be the weirdest thing that I've ever made to date, although I don't think she's weird. Excuse me, that was a very loud cough. Excuse me. Told you guys I needed this cup of coffee, and it's got caramel in it. Oh my goodness, it is delicious. Now, question number 5. We're halfway there. Let's see if we can do it without another coughing fit. So, something you'll never crochet again. Now, I am of the mindset that I will never say never. Now, the reason why I'm going to show you these 2 bags is not because I don't love making bags and that I don't love making these bags. It's because of what I used to crochet them. Let me just do that just for a moment. Is that better, guys? Was I a little bit crooked? Anyway, let's get back on track. So I absolutely love these bags. If anything, this is one of my most used handbags that I take when I go out. It's just the right purse size. It fits my phone, my keys, and my glasses in here, my glasses case. And this was just a little novelty one that I made as well. My daughter-in-law absolutely loves this one, and she borrows it on occasion. But the reason why I'd never make these again excuse me, is because I made them with macrame cord, and I will never ever use macrame cord again. Well, I hope I never make that mistake, because this tiny little bag took hours and hours to make because it was so hard to use the cord with the hooks. Well, I guess I should be using yarn that is meant to be, you know, making bags for bag making rather than this. So this is why I would never ever crochet again with macrame yarn. Now, I don't know if that is exactly what the question was meant to be, but that is what is my answer. I never crochet bags with macrame yarn. Now, number 6 asks, where do you get your inspiration? Well, this one is super easy, guys. Each week on our podcast, that ooh and ah factor that I get from all of your makes, that's a huge inspiration for me, which, you know, I keep adding to my never-ending crochet to-do list. I also get inspiration from other makers and designers that, you know, post on various platforms like Instagram, and also, of course, here on YouTube. The books and magazines that we purchase, but mainly what I see my friends like yourselves and family members, you know, anyone that crochets, what they're making, I think, oh wow, I'd like to make that as well. And sometimes I do attempt it, or sometimes it just gets added to my list. So it's really easy, I think, for me, you know, to get inspiration because I'm surrounded by it. You guys are forever, ever surprising me with something new. And you know, that FOMO that we all get, you just have to try it, whether it be a new stitch or a new, you know, amigurumi or a new, oh my gosh, it could be anything, like just name it. If you've made it, I want to try it as well. I'm that person. So generally, my inspiration is just coming to me way too quickly, which is amazing. It is amazing, but will we ever have time to make everything that we want to? That is the big question, guys. I think the answer is no, unfortunately. Now, question number 7. What favorite thing you've made so far this year? Let me tell you, my memory didn't go too far back, but I do love what I'm going to show you now. I've come into the habit of late that I'm really enjoying making ensembles, and I love that word, of like little baby blankets and then little pieces to go with it, whether they be wearables or a little amigurumi pieces. And the one that I made quite recently was this star blanket using Aldi baby blanket yarn. It came out really nice. And to go with it, I thought it would be really nice to add some amigurumi donuts so a little baby could play with these. So there's a blueberry and a strawberry one. So I thought these plushies were very sweet, and I also made a little cupcake. So I think of like quite recently, or at least this year, so far, I've really enjoyed making this one. It just made me smile the whole time that I was crocheting it. So it's definitely going to be a favorite. Now, question number 8. Excuse me. Crochet plans you're excited about for the future. Oh my goodness. If you could live in my head just for a moment, I actually have so many ideas in my head that I hope that I get to execute and share with you. But for the very immediate future, in the very near future, I just like to get through all of the cows that, you know, I've set my mind to this year that we're sharing together. That would be great. I've only just released my first pattern for a beanie. I'm very fresh at that. I have a lot of ideas and I hope I can make a few more patterns that I can share with you. I've caught that little bug now, and I'm just excited that maybe I'll be able to create something that I could share with you that you might want to join in and make as well. So that's something that I'm kind of not actively working on it, but it's there in the back of my mind. So that is definitely a plan for the future. And just to continue enjoying crocheting. I guess that's a really general one, but that's definitely a plan. I would be so disappointed if for some reason I couldn't crochet. So I'm definitely not putting that out in the universe. Now, number 9, and we're nearly there, guys. Number 9 asks for the worst thing about crochet. And the first thing that popped into my mind, and I think most of you would agree with this, because we love crochet so much. And also going back to the last question, one of the best things is that it brings us that, you know, that moment that we need of peace. We just want to crochet all the time, and unfortunately that could lead to injuries. Now, I have a sore point here, which I think a lot of you share, and if I crochet for way too long or use a particular hook all day, for example, and I have been known to sit and crochet for hours and hours, that pain comes, and I don't like that. because I don't want to get to the point where I have to stop crocheting to recover from an injury. So that's the worst thing, that we do fatigue and we need to be mindful of that, guys. And question number 10 is, what is your favorite thing about crochet? Well, my favorite thing about crochet is absolutely the peace that it brings me. I absolutely love that, and I think that it's a form of meditation. We all talk about that, but it truly, truly is. And until you're actually so involved and so focused in something that you're creating, you won't get to that stage. So I hope that we all have that opportunity to just sit down for long enough to get that that we need from what crochet can bring us, that form of meditation. And the other huge thing that popped into my mind immediately is the sense of community. I absolutely love that through crochet, my community has grown huge. I have made friends, yarny friends, that I never ever thought that I would ever meet. And it's just been so wonderful, and I'm so grateful for that. So those two things are my absolute favorite things about crochet. Now, this is the bonus question. As we are creators, we've been asked what is our favorite thing as a crochet creator? Now, this one I had to think about a little bit, because I thought, oh, well, what does that really mean? And how are we different? And the difference is this: I decided in the end that if something pops into my head, I can actually share it with a yarny community, and someone other than the people in my real life community, or some more than just someone, might actually think that it's a great idea too, or want to jump on board, or, you know, want to have a conversation around it. So that is such a luxury, being a crochet creator. I feel that we have that opportunity to just say, hey, I thought about this. What do you think about it? Or let me show you what I've just made. And, you know, like-minded people jump on and say, oh, wow, that's great. Or, hey, you can tweak it this way. That's what I love about being a content creator. The fact that I have that opportunity to, you know, have an idea and then just share it pretty much immediately. And then someone, usually 9 out of 10 times, you know, comments back and says, you know, wow, I've done that too, or I want to do that, or that's a great idea, or let's do it this way. So that is, once again, what my favorite thing about being a content creator is. Now, all of you that are content creators and that are watching this, tag You're It. I'm not going to name just one person. I have way too many yarny friends. Yes, I am very, very lucky, and I do acknowledge that. So each and every one of you that would like to do the tag, please do. I absolutely love watching these tags. I love listening to everybody's answers, even if we've been together for years and years and years. Well, I've only been on YouTube for 3.5 years, but, you know, I still like to revisit your answers, and I look forward to seeing the ones that pop up. I don't think there's a hashtag for this, but if you just pop in Crochet Creator Tag, you will see a few other creators that have already put their answers across. So once again, thank you so much, Nova, for tagging me, and thank you so much, Rachel, for creating this tag. Another fun way to hang out with our yarny friends. So I will leave you with that, guys, because I can feel a tickle in my throat, so I think it's time to go. I hope you're all keeping well. Thank you for listening to my answers. I really do appreciate your time. It is Friday here in Sydney, Australia, the 30th of May 2025. So the weekend has arrived. So wishing you all a very happy weekend. And until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.